Africans are contributing immensely in the United States. We ask that all not left behind when it comes down to immigrant and reform. As an actor and as a comedian, I can do whatever I want to do to try to help this situation and creating awareness to support the African diaspora. I would like to introduce the president of the Cameroon American Council, Ms. Sylvia Bello.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sylvie Bello with the Cameroon American Council. We are so thrilled and really honored that you made it down to DC, and for those of you already in DC, that you made it out today in your very busy schedule, especially with vacations and everything else. But we are here for a really big and important reason, because this entire year at the Cameroon American Council and with our friends, our allies, the African immigrants throughout the 30 states that we have presence in, as well as throughout the country. We have been working on getting President Obama to include immigration reform.
And I am Sapna Pandya. I'm the director of Many Languages, One Voice, and we are a local nonprofit right here in the district. We administer what's called the DC Language Access Coalition. And so as Sylvie mentioned, there are a lot of examples we feel right here in the district that could be and should be expanded to the rest of the country. One example is what Sylvie mentioned, which is the African Heritage Month and African Heritage Day that ends up being celebrated every year. There also was recently instituted an African health fair that's been started as well, thanks very largely in part to Sylvie's advocacy and the advocacy of the Cameroon American Council.
My name is Iya Bikundo Granatella, and I am founder of the Iya Foundation. What the Iya Foundation does is pretty much promote awareness of kidney disease and organ donation. I am a recipient of a kidney. God bless my mom. In 2005, she donated one of her kidneys to me. And that was after living with kidney disease for about 10 years. I came into the United States on a medical visa in 2000.
Advocate and all the legislative, all the senators, all the elected officials knows what African people need. You guys know African people are lovely people. They just don't understand the language. They have their culture. And like one of our colleagues say, we need that translation. We need to understand each other instead of making fun to our people. They got a lot to put on the table. Definitely they do. So at this point, President Obama and Cory Booker, who is in the Senate right here in Washington, D.C., we are coming.
But we need them to understand that even if we are working in embassies, we are still here in America. And we need our children to get the same education as others. When my daughter graduated in 2009, she told me, "Mom, I know your salary is not that great. You cannot help me for my master's. I'm going to work for 2 years and then go to try to get my master's." 2 years, she did not get a job.
Just here on behalf of the Congressman's office to say hello. Congressman represents a large African immigrant community in the Bronx, New York. And to say that our office is here to listen and help when we can. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Ms. Bello, for doing such a great job supporting the African diaspora. And I want to thank you all for being here today. I would personally like to thank everyone for being here today to support the African diaspora here in the United States. As we know, U.S.-African Summit was successful. This will potentially bring millions of dollars in African continent, potentially could be billions as well. However, the president failed to discuss certain issues that were affecting us as African immigrant. Okay. I would like to go over some contribution that Africans are actually contributing here in the United States. Per U.S. Census, African immigrants are not only the most educated immigrant when upon arrival into the United States, their first and second generation offsprings are also the most educated in America. So in order to fully fulfill President Obama's vision of American outperforming, out-innovating the rest of the world, President Obama needs to engage the most educated community, which is the African diaspora. I would like to talk about a diversity visa. Okay, I'm a recipient of a diversity visa. That's how I actually, came to the United States. The diversity visa is a lottery, also known as the green card lottery, that was eliminated from the bill, the recent bill, which was put in place about 2 years ago. Diversity visa lottery was put in place in 1990 to allow countries with low immigrant inflows to come to the United States. This is one of the few and easiest ways that African immigrant can legally enter the United States. We are requesting for the diversity visa to be reinstated back into the bill. Hopefully we can get that done by the end of the year. We are working with the Gang of Eight to make this happen. Also, during the U.S. Summit, the New York City Council, representing 8 million New Yorkers, passed a resolution to ask President Obama to include immigration discussion when he met with the 47th African president on August 4th through the 8th, at which the time he failed to discuss immigration reform affecting Africans in America. As a result, the African leaders and the Cameroon American Council are requesting that the president to include Africans in immigration discussion during African Heritage Month, which is in September. In addition, we're asking for creation of a congressional African Immigrant Caucus that will be dedicated to voicing and advancing through legislative process issues that affect Africans in the United States and its territories. Let me briefly explain, go over some of the history of engaging diaspora and foreign dignitaries on immigration. On May 3rd, 2013, President Obama was in Mexico, and in his speech, he discussed the relationship of USA and Mexico. President Obama talked about the contribution Mexicans who migrated to USA have made and why immigration reform is critical for Mexico and USA. On March 14, 2014, the Irish Prime Minister of Ireland came to the White House, and immigration was part of the agenda. And as the Irish Prime Minister puts it, we've got 50,000 Irish immigrants here in America, undocumented, and what we want is a process of legalization where they can pay their taxes, pay their way, raise their family, travel home, and also come back. On April 25th, 2014, President Obama was in South Korea where he discussed the merits of comprehensive immigration reform during his week-long trip to Asia. And on May 3rd, 2014, exactly 1 year since the president made his immigration pitch in Mexico, Vice President Biden celebrated immigrant and children of immigrants at a graduation in Miami. He later met with Caribbean American business leaders at the Jamaican Island restaurant to discuss the impact of immigration in the Caribbean community. We're extremely happy that the President Obama is engaging other diaspora when it comes to immigration reform. By no means should he stop. All we want is for him to also engage the African community to make sure that we are part of this discussion. And we're asking to meet with the president directly so he can address this issue with us as well. Again, this is real dear to my heart. I believe that all of us needs to be treated equally and fairly. And so the fact that Africans are the most educated immigrant in the United States, that counts, doesn't it? Yeah, it counts a lot. And I believe that if we are going to outperform the world, we must include the African diaspora, in the mathematics, science, and if I'm leaving any other field, arts, yes. I've been here for about 18 years now, and I've seen a lot of growth within the community. We have Africans who are entrepreneurs, hair braiders, actually giving jobs to our community. People who have actually worked hard to take care of the family and also sending money back home. I believe that's called remittances. And we send lots of money back home, and the lawyers, doctors. So all we need is equality, in terms of immigration as well, and also other issues that's affecting African immigrant. And we're also requesting, again, the Congressional African Immigrant Caucuses that would engage the African diaspora, because we have problems too. We have problems too, so we must make sure that we let the president know that we must, again, have that We have the Hispanic caucuses. We have other caucuses that is benefiting certain diaspora, and we're asking the same for the African community and for the African people. Again, I want to thank you guys for being here today, and Ms. Sylvie Bello has actually been great in voicing the opinion and also supporting the African diaspora. I would love for you to continue doing that. And as CEO of Impact Corporation, I will continue to do my best to make sure that our voice are heard, you know. Even though sometimes it's the last minute, I still get up and come, you know. So I want to thank you guys for being here. I also want to thank Hassan Oliver, who, again, is part of the Impact Corporation team, who is under Impact Course Management, you know, led by an African immigrant. I want to thank Mr. Rowe, my good side, who has been very helpful in making sure that this gets seen, you know. And I also want to thank Marcy for being here today, and everybody else who contributed. I know you guys took time out to come here because we all have a common goal, and the common goal is to make sure that the African people are heard. I say my mother, you know, spoke. You know, it touched my heart, you know, and I will make a commitment today to do all we can, you know, to make sure that our voice is heard. Okay, whatever it is that needs to be done, I am going to work with Sylvie, and I'm going to work with Marcy, and I have Hassan Oliver, and Sabner, excuse me for the Sabner, right? We're going to reach out to everyone that we can possibly get in contact with, you know, to make sure that the voice of the African people are heard. Ms. Bello, thank you again for giving me the opportunity to work with you. It actually opened my eyes, you know. I was never into advocacy. I was an entrepreneur. When I met this young lady, she actually explained to me about DV lottery, which I didn't really know anything about DV lottery because I know as a green card. That's how I came here. So when she mentioned to me that green card is the same as DV lottery, which is diversity visa lottery, I was being eliminated from the bill. That got me involved, and as I got involved into it, I realized there are other things that is being left behind. In addition, knowing that the Africans, which I didn't know that, I had to do some research, that Africans are the most educated people in the United States, with degrees, you know, bachelors, and the fact that we're left behind is not fair. You know, it's not fair at all. How do you equate? Usually people with a higher education should also be equivalent with everybody else, but it's the opposite. You know, we are at the bottom. You know, we are at the bottom, and we as African people, we must come together. This is a start, and it's not going to end here, okay? We are going to do whatever we can to make sure that our voices are heard, and that we're requesting that the president meet with the African diaspora and implement or put congressional immigrant caucus in place so we can voice our opinion what's affecting us, African immigrant, here in the United States and other territories as well, because we're as important as everybody else. I want to thank you all for being here today. I just had to come one more time based on hearing what my mom had to say. You know, I love my mother dearly, and when I hear you guys talk, I take it personal, you know. And thank you.